But I'd like to table this. I had some information come in from Ms. Singer yesterday, but it was after the end of the day. So I'd like to talk to her about the information she got. So I'd like to put this on the next agenda.
Can I make one comment on that?
Absolutely.
Ms. Dupree, just, you can continue that, but I would almost like to, if you guys do go ahead with it, like it to see the bank reconciliations, because then people know if you $2 million in the operating account and you have $1 million in checks that are outstanding at the end of the month, well, everybody might see $2 million, but there's really only $1 million in the account. So I'd like to see that, and I just want to make note that, and I reference it pretty much in every report I give you, that the bank statements aren't always available. The bank statements are available, but they're not always reconciled by the meeting just because of the timing differences. Not all your bank statements are available electronic, so by the time Ms. Singer passes them along to us, it might be after the board meeting or the deadline for us to get your financial reports. So I'd almost rather see as soon as it's available, a reconciled bank statement is available.
Financial
Yeah.
report, so to speak.
Yeah, it would reconcile with the financial report.
Yeah, it's pretty common to have like a financial report available just for public view. And it wouldn't have to be the first meeting of the month.
Right.
Or, once a month if they want to review it.
Yeah, however you wanted to tweak it, I just wanted to give you a couple
And
things
that's why I
to
wanted
think
to
about.
work with Roberta to tweak the wording on it.
Okay, I'm available if you need any.
Thank you. I had a couple comments on this item. So I also heard from some residents that were not giving the bank statements to people. And I double checked with Bobby if we have had any requests for bank statements, and she said absolutely none since January. They are absolutely available to any resident who wants them. It's simple under the right to know law. The only thing that we're cautioned about is redacting any bank account or routing numbers, obviously. But the bank accounts that I've viewed in the several years I've been here, probably, half a phone book thick. It would be very labor intensive for the staff to add that to their list. But it is available to anybody who wants them, but to do it on a weekly meeting basis, I don't agree with that.
I mean, what you could do is if you're getting pushback, you could give them the bank reconciliations, which don't have the account and routing number on them. So it could be a meeting in the middle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is no different from the bill pay list, but it also just it would reconcile the financial report.
We've never had a request for that. Now that someone's requesting it, all that's up for discussion. That's easy. Yes. So I guess, Terry, this has to be reworded and tabled and reworded.
Yeah, so I understood it's tabled, and on the next agenda, we'll have some sort of semblance of this on it again, or perhaps with some rewording.
Financial statements versus bank statements.
Can we connect?
Okay, item 2, discuss supervisors receiving board packets of information and draft agenda no later than Friday prior to the meeting. This is Mrs. Dupree's item.
So I thought we handled this at the last meeting, but it did seem to, being that Roberta was going away this week, it's kind of what we followed this week, and it seemed to work fine, versus Patterson Road and any other emergencies, but it seemed to work fine. Terry started Teams on the tablets, so they add documents as it goes, so some of the stuff's even before Friday. I noticed that when I opened up my Teams, I noticed that the board did do Teams last year. Prior to me coming on the board, Teams seemed to be done up until January. It just seems to be a recent thing on my tablet that,
We did Teams prior to me coming on, and then
That's
since
correct.
I've been on, they haven't used Teams.
Yeah, that's not correct.
But I know that when they first got the iPads, they tried it, and then it went back to paper, because they didn't do paper packets at all.
it was in the middle of 2021.
Yeah, it was 2021. It stopped, and then.
But that seemed to work out great. I mean, if anyone needs to, but it gives us all more time to reach out to Sean or you or Mr. Palermo about any questions.
Who orders that tablet?
Excuse me, Terry, 2 To be
How
correct,
about
I'm pretty sure that we
When is that
stopped
down?
teams in 2020. And I would like that for the record. Could you please get that information?
Absolutely.
There was a changeover in staff, and when Bobby was new here, I don't believe she ever did teams. She was running the township by herself. So, but could you check that for the record?
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you so much.
And I have to say, just from a staff, point of view, it's, you know, there's definitely positives and negatives. Like, I think it's great, I'm glad that, you know, the board thinks that Teams is working. And I like that because I can give you information as I'm finished with it. But, you know, I just asked the board that if the deadline is Friday at noon, you know, you kind of have to understand that. For example, the last meeting, I gave you all a map with the trees for Veterans Park, but by the time that the meeting came around, that was out of date. And so, because it had been changed by by someone at Harshman again. And so, you know, just having to understand that sometimes things do change and sometimes things are evolving as we're sort of navigating this process, and that, you know, it's
You keep in mind, the last meeting was the meeting that I wasn't even provided an agenda for, so it's a huge improvement to have this versus, I didn't even know why you gave me the pictures of the trees, cause I never got an agenda till I walked in the meeting that day. So, yeah, much better. Getting Mr. Sweat's bill earlier would be also a great improvement. I was available on Friday, but Bobby was unavailable. Then Monday, when Patterson Road happened, I figured that there was a lot going on, I didn't wanna bother Bobby, so I do have some questions about some of the bills that I just didn't get a chance to iron out before the meeting.
Who enters the data?
Okay, so then moving on to.
Who does enter the
Who